So my name's Kelilah Wolkowicz. I'm currently an assistant professor at the University of Massachusetts Lowell in the mechanical engineering department. I got my undergraduate degree at a very small university in Rhode Island called Roger Williams University, and it was really tiny. Of all of the engineering students, and that's mechanical, civil, we didn't have an electrical and computer science. I graduated with 30 students, so it was very, very tiny. And then from there, I decided to pursue my master's and PhD. I went to Penn State, which was a little bit of a culture shock in terms of the number of students on campus. And then after I finished my master's and PhD at Penn State, I ended up doing a postdoc at Harvard University. I also did a little bit of lecturing at Tufts, and then ended up applying during the spring of 2020, which was a little challenging, to my faculty position, which is now at UMass Lowell. It was a little bit accidental. I'd come to that university. I came very undecided. I liked it because it was a liberal arts with STEM education. I knew I somehow wanted to bring STEM into my career, but I didn't quite know how yet. I really wanted to help people. I think I was trying to kind of balance between going into like sustainable architecture or going into some sort of health-based career pathway. So when I got there, I established all these new friendships, and I started talking to people, and I had several friends who really kind of prompted me to go into engineering, and mechanical in particular. And I had no idea what engineering was. I thought all engineers did was build bridges and roads, and I had nobody in my life that had ever studied or pursued a career in engineering. So it was a little bit of, I was excited because there's all this design and this opportunity. You could go through all these different career paths. So that's how it was kind of promoted to me via my friends who had family in mechanical engineering. So I kind of settled in. I took my first engineering classes, my first design classes, and I really loved it. I liked to be creative when I was younger, so I liked to do a lot of drawing and photography and using computer software to do different like creative outlets. So it was really, really cool for me to find this degree that I could actually do all of these things, combine all of these different avenues that I already enjoyed and liked, and pursue it for a career path. And for me, one of the other things that was really important is I really, really wanted to do something that improved the quality of life for others. So finding that was really important for me. And I think I've really been able to do that in engineering, and in particular in mechanical engineering. Of other really instrumental people in my life. One has been several of the professors I had in undergrad who really, I didn't know what to do with my engineering degree when I was an undergrad. Both of my parents are in medicine, so I knew med school could be a potential option that I could do, and they were very supportive of whatever I wanted to do. But I had a couple professors who suggested I take the GRE and enroll in a master's program, which was actually really beneficial information, because when I started going to career fairs and jobs fairs, all of the positions I was interested in, you needed at least a master's. And I wasn't quite sure, since my school was so tiny, we didn't have any graduate level study in engineering. So I wasn't sure how to take that next step from getting my bachelor's in science in undergrad to a master's or even a PhD. And moving forward into grad school, at Penn State, I met a lot of wonderful people like Professor Brecker and Dr. Tolley. They were both really inspirational as the first women I had really met in engineering who, took an interest in me and were excited to see me succeed. They helped me so much with my faculty applications when that became, even after I left Penn State, we were still corresponding via email. And my advisor, Dr. Brennan, who really gave me a lot of flexibility. I was for a while the only woman in our lab, so he was really making sure that I didn't end up doing a lot of the administration roles that a lot of women in engineering get stuck with just because they are the woman in their lab. So he really made sure to take strides to make sure that I wasn't stuck with all of those roles all the time. Different conferences and events, lots of people, and again, largely women who started in the engineering path and then decided to go to med school after. And because, we have a really strong background in math and physics, we tend to do pretty well. You kind of have to learn a different way of studying once you get into anatomy, because that's not something most engineers have a background in, or chemistry, which is a little limited. But again, we've got a critical thinking mind that most people in biology don't always have.